Alright, so today I'm going to be mounting a scope rail and a mount to my H&R single shot shotgun. Basically so it can do that, just so I can put an optic on it. I got a 45 ACP insert and a 357 Magnum insert that I have for this shotgun. But what I want to do is be able to put an optic on it so that way I can actually put a scope or a red dot and actually zero it in really good. So anyway, I saw some guys using the scope mount bases for the flashlights that had an attached rail on the top, and they would just bolt it onto the barrel like so, put the bottom and the top end, clamp it down, and there's already a built-in rail. But I didn't really want to spend the money for it, and I already have all these old rail stuff lying around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do the same process that they do as far as using the scope mount to the barrel. But what I'm also going to do is, because of this, see how this has this V cutout, and this rail system has a V cutout here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually mount this like this. It's going to take a little bit of manufacturing work there. There you go. So it's basically the exact same thing they have on their guns, except they buy one that's already made for it. And I'm going to be manufacturing this one, or modifying this one to work. So the first thing I needed to do was to shave the scope cover base, which actually sits under the scope like this. What was happening is it was sitting too close and it wasn't allowing it to crimp tightly. So now, as you can see here, there's a gap, so when I put the bolt in and I squeeze it down, it'll stop this from spinning around. So basically to do that, what you have to do is you take your piece here. You can kind of see how I shaved it. Kind of got a little off center there a little bit, but yeah, you can do this with a file or anything. I just ran it on my belt sander here like so, until it got flat enough to where it would clamp to the barrel, and the other clamp right on top. So once you get that done and you figure out your spacings, throw that on the side. The next thing we're going to do is we have to figure out how to mount this rail to this. Now we do have a crossbar here, which are these long ones. And basically what I'm thinking I'm going to do is, I'm just going to mark it and drill it right through. But if I do that, I'm going to have to retap that. Now I'm not sure if I want to go that route yet, or if I'm just going to take the easy way out and just slide it home there and just drill a hole to the top and then just bolt it in. I think I'm just going to do that just because I don't think it's going to matter much. I mean, it probably would look better being flush, but I don't know. We'll see we'll see how lazy I am. I have a feeling I'm just going to tap it down there and just put the screw right in just to be done with it. Anyway, I'll show you what the rest looks like when I'm done. Alright, so now what we're doing is, once we took the measurements of where the rail's going to go, we marked it, we hit it up with a 1/8 bit there. Now we're following up with a 8/32 tap and die set. So tapping this in, as you can see that's going all in. We're going to take that out. I'm not going to go into detail on how to do this stuff. I mean, if you got the tools, then you know how to do it. If you don't, you should look it up. Alright, so now that that's all tapped out, it's ready to go. Take my screw here and some blue Loctite and put it in there and torque it down. Then I'll get to doing the other side. Alright, so that's pretty much it. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I got to bolt all this down. A little thing here, so as you can see I got the screw up here, so which no longer needs a cross screw because this is held down side by side and straight down to the plate. So it's not going anywhere. It's just loose now because I just have one screw tapping into it just so I can mock this up. The idea is you want to keep that kind of close to the front lug here, because when you shoot bigger rounds, like especially if you start going into like 45-70 or the bigger inserts that you can be shot through the shotgun the single shot shotgun, this tends to want to walk a little bit, especially if you don't have this locked down totally. So what I got here is I'm using the ZRUS method, locking it behind the lug nut here, and as you can see, that's going to sit right like that, which is actually, if I did this correctly, it should be level. There we go. So it's level that way, and the barrel should be level as well. Yep. So this scope mount is not at a weird angle or anything. The other thing you gotta look at is this, as this locks in the barrel there, you can kind of see the area I was trying to go for is the place where the hole was already, but I can't get it because it's too far up on this swell here. So what I'm gonna have to do is slide this back a little bit. I'm thinking just so I can get rail space here, extra rail space, I might just push this all the way home here and lock it in that way. I'm just wondering if the vibration will have anything, you know, any negative consequences to this. It's kind of why I was trying to space it out as much as I could, but we'll see. Who knows, maybe I can get a scope mount here on this end and here, and I'll just split it up a little bit. I'll figure that out later. But anyway, that's where I'm at with it. Alright, so this is where the scope mount project is at. So far, so good. So I already got the main screws in there and in the top, so that's holding it from going back and forth. And then what I'm going to do is, because I'm not planning on ever using this scope mount for anything else, I'm just going to go ahead and completely set this in, and then I'm going to actually cut off the screw itself. So I got one set screw on that end. So this would be the normal screw that would just kind of go through the rod, through the top part of the Picatinny rail, and it'll lock the scope mount in to use the scope. Since we're reversing it, I'm just gonna go ahead and Loctite this in. And what this is gonna do is this is gonna push pressure against this rail and help kind of pin this in with friction. So I got two mechanical pins here, two friction pins here, and I'm gonna cut this off and then we'll mount it on the gun and we'll see where it goes. All right, so now that I got this all set up already, as I showed in the earlier parts, I went ahead and drilled it in. I had to kind of sand it a little, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the backwoods anodization. Just take a Sharpie. You just fill that bad boy in so it's not glistening. I mean, I'm sure you could paint it and whatnot, but I am not trying to be perfect here. Anyway, back right here. Yep, got some more here. Did some quick sanding, had some sharp ends. And that's done. All right, so the next thing you want to do, since we went ahead, this is basically complete. You can see I went ahead and I tapped it up here, screwed it in there, and I got a double ring here, kind of give it a little bit more stabilization on the scope area, and running a T25 red dot from Bushnell. And I got me one of these forearms here. So that's the old forearm right there. And what I had to do here, I'm not sure if you can even see this here, sorry about that. What you gotta do is you kind of gotta line it all up, and you kind of gotta cut and groove this. Play with it until you make it fit. It's not the prettiest cuts, but you know, should go. All right, I'll show you guys what it looks like all assembled. All right guys, so that's what it looks like. Stock's on, scope mount's on, got a Bushnell T25 on there. And what that's gonna do is this is gonna help me zero in my 45 ACP caliber that I'm running through this 12 gauge shotgun. As you can see here, that's a 12 gauge, 3-inch, and this is a modified choke. Here we go, this is a 00 buck Winchester 2 3/4. Bang, that fits right in there. I also got a couple of these shorter gauges. That's a short gauge 45 ACP, and that's a 357/38 special. How that works is that just sits right in your shotgun like so, and you go ahead and you put your corresponding round into it and the gun will fire it. But what I really wanted was this 18-inch barrel, which is right here. All of these are made by Chazelle, or Chazelle, however you say that. It's 12 gauge 45 ACP, 18-inch barrel, so it should get better accuracy. And how this is gonna work is this is gonna just slide right into the barrel like so, and then it locks in. So now, from a 12 gauge shotgun, I got myself a 45 ACP carbine. Single shot, but there we go. That's what it looks like. Alright, let me know what you guys think. Quick modification and build for a scope mount for a 12 gauge shotgun.